Welcome back to QC Live, folks. If you enjoy live music and supporting a great cause, then you need to get on down to the third annual Roosterlympics. It's a concert and fundraiser for Webb Street School supporting students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Joining us today is Michael Carpenter, owner of the Rooster, as well as Chris Mills, former Webb Street principal and now executive director of Exceptional Children for Gaston County Schools. How are you, gentlemen? Thank you for being here.
Doing well.
Excellent. Look, I just mentioned it, third annual. Okay, this is something that has gone in year out in the last 3 years and has grown every single year. For folks that are not familiar with not just the third annual Roosterlympics, but also the school, let's set the table and let's talk about what that is, what the mission is, and what it's all about.
Sure. So when I opened the Rooster, one of my focal points was I wanted to find ways to make a difference in the community.
Sure.
And at the time, Chris was still principal at Webb Street School. So we teamed up. My son was a student at Webb Street until he aged out of the program. And because of Webb Street School, I was able to provide a decent life for my family. And this school is always in need of something because this demographic it's always a challenge to get resources and things that they need. So I said, well, let's throw a concert. Yeah. And he was all about it. So when we do it every year in May, it's the Roosterlympics. The name is kind of a tipping our cap to Special Olympics in the summertime. Caleb competed every year at Webb Street, and it was a fun time. So this is a way to kind of merge what we do with what they do in an effort to help them get more resources.
And Chris, you're boots on the ground, if you will. You've really seen the difference that events like this, that fundraisers like this make day in and day out with the students that you get to participate in and join with. For folks out there that, they want to see their dollars go somewhere, make a difference. Give us that first person kind of account of how that really is transforming lives.
Absolutely. So Webb Street School has lots of needs with communication. So one of the things that we really use the funding for is to help provide technology so that our students have a voice, because not everybody speaks like you or I. Sure. So we are able to provide extra pieces of equipment that we use to provide that voice for our students at Webb Street School.
And Michael, look, you talked about the personal connection you have to it, but now as you've seen it grown, we're going into the third year of this. Not only your family in the way they've kind of not just been affected by it, but really blossomed through these great partnerships. How does that make you, your family, feel the fact that the community can come together and can give back to such a great cause?
It makes me feel wonderful. I mean, it was one of my objectives when I started the Rooster. This was never going to make me money. It was always about making a difference. That's kind of my little catchphrase. We all want to make money, but I prefer to make a difference. And that's kind of what we do at the Rooster as a whole, not just for Webb Street, but for artists, musicians, comedians,
sure.
what have you, whatever it is in the entertainment business, there's a place to get an opportunity. And, this demographic that Webb Street services is one of the least heard, the least, they get the least amount of attention. So they need it more than anybody. And that's kind of makes me real proud.
You should be very proud because you're making a difference, my friend. Now, Chris, for folks out there that have never been, but now that are learning about this, maybe this is the first time they've heard about it, what can they expect from this great concert that's coming this coming weekend?
Yeah, so we're going to have lots of bands coming. We'll have vendors there, and it's just a fun event. It's a family, it kind of feels like. Again, third time doing it. There'll be lots of people that we'll see that will support us. And Webb Street, we serve kindergartners all the way to students who are 22 years old in our building. So it's a fun event.
I want to take this opportunity now to put your information up on the board so that people can not only learn more about the event, but also follow you on social media to learn about the mission. Last but not least, I'll ask you this, Michael. For folks like me that have a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old at home, and we want to support the cause, but I don't know if it's age appropriate, can we all show up as well?
Absolutely. Most everything that we do at the Rooster is an all-ages venue. Now there are some times where we have some heavy music shows where that, some people don't want to bring kids to, but for the most part, almost everything we do is an all ages. And I would take it one step further and say, if you want to support Webb Street, if you want to support this event and you can't be there or you don't necessarily want to come to the event, buy a ticket anyway.
Yeah.
Because 100% of ticket sales goes back to the school, in addition to what we raise through sponsorships and fees and things like that. So even if you can't be there, still buy a ticket anyway. It's $20, and you're still helping out a great organization.
It's all about exactly what you just said, helping out a great organization and making a difference against the 3rd Annual Roosterlympics happening Saturday, May 17th. Michael, Chris, thank you so much for the time and for giving us this great knowledge. Folks, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll continue with more QC Life in just moments. Stick with us.